Hi, everyone. My name is Thiago Beraldo Souza. I am the economic coordinator of the Tourism and Protected Areas Specialist Group, TAPAS. And today I will be speaking about economic analysis of visitation. This presentation is based on our new manual, guideline, Visitors Count, Guidance for Protected Areas on Economic Analysis of Visitation, that we launched with support of UNESCO, BFN, and other partners. So economic analysis is an equation that we need to use three variables. We basically count how many visitors we have in a protected area or in a country, in the protected area system of a country, if you are doing this in the national level. Also, we multiply these numbers for the average spending of each visitor, to know how much money they spend in the economy, the direct effect of the visitors' numbers and average spending in the economy. And then we use economic multipliers to measure the effects of this money circulating in the local economy. This is basically what economic analysis does. My previous colleagues, previous colleagues, presented visitors' numbers and average visitor spending. So I'm going to present now economic multipliers. So the first thing to present is the economic effects, how they work. Let's say we have a family visiting a national park. In one of the days of the visit, they decide to go to the town, to the local town, to go to the restaurant. And then they go to the restaurant, they have their meal, they spend their money in the local restaurant. So the money that came from the visitor goes local now through the restaurant, stays in the restaurant local. This is the direct effect, that the money that comes from the tourists and stays in the local economy. However, the owner of the restaurant also need to buy supplies from local markets to offer the meals for the clients. In this situation, we consider the money that comes from the owner of the restaurant to buy supplies, indirect effects. Also, when the money that goes to the market, and then the market uses to buy new supplies to buy from the local farmers, for example, is also considered in the indirect effects. The money starts to circulate in the economy. One business buy from another business locally, and the circulation of the money is really important because it's not the money that just comes from the tourists, but the multiplication effect that happens in the local economy. Also, we consider the induced effects that are the effects that comes from the money spent from the owner of the restaurant and her, in this case, employees in the local economy. The money that they use to buy food, to put gas on the tank, and so on. So the money that comes from salaries and wages and profits that circulates in the local economy. These are the induced effects. So the total effects that we calculate in those economic analyses are the sum of the direct effects that are ratios that we calculate from total visitors with visitor spending, and also visitor spending with some effects that I will present in the next slide. And then we use the multipliers to calculate indirect effects and induced effects, that when the money circulates in the economy and does this multiplication effect. We have many different ways to present those economic effects, these economic effects. But the most common are direct output, and how much are the sales, basically the sales that happens with the money from the tourists spend in the local economy. Income, how much income is generated, how much employment jobs are generated, value added to the local economy or the national economy, the GDP, And also taxes, how much taxes are generated through those economic effects. So to illustrate, I will present a case study where we calculated the economic contribution from 120 national protected areas of Brazil. So this is a national level analysis in 2018. So we have the economic contributions of the protected areas of Brazil. Number of visitors in that year was 12.4 millions. The average spending per visitor was between $10.49 to $60.95 was the average ranged between these two amounts. And the economic multipliers were, in the national level, were between 2.17 and 4.13 to do the calculations. This is important to state that this is in the national level, so multipliers are higher. Normally, multipliers range between 1 and 2 at local level, and also state level. So here we have a normal table that we see in this economic analysis, where we present the direct and total effects of visitor spending at national scale, in this case in Brazil 2018. On the left, we have spending categories, where we use these ones, accommodation, meals, gas and oil, local transportation, activities and guided tours, other expenses, retail sector, and wholesale sector. Because we divide in categories to interview the tourists, the visitors, and also the multipliers are different for different industries when we do this analysis. On the top, we have the effects that represent the results. So we have output in $1 million, jobs generated, personal income, and value added to the Brazilian economy. And on the bottom, we have the results of direct effects, secondary effects that are the indirect and induced effects, and total effects. So just to summarize the impact in Brazilian economy, as output, total effects were about $2.5 billion in sales in Brazil, generating almost 90,000 jobs, just the tourism protected areas in Brazil, in the national protected areas, generating a personal income for owners and employees around $666 million, and a value added to the Brazilian economy of almost $1 billion. These are really important numbers for Brazil, and starts to make a difference for stakeholders to understand the importance of the Brazilian economy, the visitation for the Brazilian economy. So the same analysis, with that same analysis, was possible to show that while the protected area agency budget was around $166 million in 2018, and the park protected areas in tri-fee was around $19 million, much less than agency budget, the direct and the total output from visitation was much, and visitor spending was much higher than the agency budget. With this information was possible, protected area management in Brazil could say that for each $1 invested in protected area management was generated $15 for the Brazilian economy. And that information was really important for the protected area agency in Brazil. Thank you very much. I hope you have a brief understanding of what we are talking about economic analysis. In our guideline, you will have much more information in chapter 6 to understand this subject. Thank you very much. And I hope we are having a good presentation.